All right. What we're going to do today, that's better contrast, huh? Yeah. What we're going to do today is we're going to reverse a little bit the workflow, what you usually do. We're starting with the online world. Just to give you a little bit more in-depth playground. We're taking a little take on business analysts online. If you haven't done that, we'll take a look at how to actually define areas for, let's say, for a report, how to use predefined areas, how can we actually define our own area. Anyone played so far with the idea that you could use or select 5 or 7 different zip code areas? You don't have to do just all the time drive time analysis. You actually can say, hey, select by geographies, zip codes, and bang, you can pick which zip code you want. Then we're playing a little bit with the search function. We did show that a little bit with the McDonald's example, but we didn't really go, I think, through the search form. That might be helpful if you're looking for competition or certain businesses in an area of interest. And then let's see if this is working on this machine. Last time the browser didn't. To build a customized report. About 2/3 of this class are running some economic variable for their project. So that means, why do I have to run, let's say, 15 different reports when I'm interested in only 1 or 2 variables inside each report? So I can build my own customized report. Has also the advantage, let's say, in terms of a grading exercise, that I see that, hey, you use customized reports. You went the extra mile or that extra foot, the extra step in complexity, rather than saying I'm downloading 10 pre-manufactured. I'm actually considering more smart GIS development. Yeah? Then we got to go through this whole spatial workshop idea. We did select by attribute, but we didn't really go into an in-depth select by location. We did buffers, but we didn't do much with those buffers. We selected one example. Yeah? So we need to introduce clip as a function. That is the so-called cookie cutter. Yeah? Think about a big chopping knife and you cut that steak in 2 pieces. You just clip the steak. Yeah? Clip is important because there are different ways to maintain my data and manage my data. If you are interested in land use data in Broward County, are you downloading all 700,000 parcels, or is it 400? Can't remember. It's a big file. 600 or 700 megabyte, yeah. Are you downloading the whole county, or are you just interested, let's say, in that band of cities, Weston, Davie, Cooper City, Fort Lauderdale, everything below or south of 595? Well, if you're only interested in that area, you could do one thing. You can select that, just even visually, just drag and drop it. Yeah? We have done that. But you also could clip it with the area of interest you're interested in and run this as your own data set. Means instead of handling the whole county, you are just focusing on that one specific area. Gives you more overview. Depending on what you want to do, it's a faster system. Just think about it, if you have, let's say, 1 million data points versus 10,000 data points. If you just want to change 1 + 1 = 2 in that table with the field calculator, which one do you think is faster? The 10,000 ones. So you don't need the 900-something thousands additional calculations. So it helps you to focus. So we're playing a little bit with this. I was even thinking we are going to take assignment 3 data, take it there, we find other stuff. Did you put that in? Oh, okay, this is not now.
Yeah.
And see, completely out of the loop. And if you haven't done so, let's go to the Broward County GIS website and download one file. And and see if you can clip it. Something easy. Yeah, so you have been exposed to that process. And then I want to push this. I want to get this done in 2 hours because I want to give you individual time on the screen for your projects. Yeah? And I want to push this then and go into 3D work. There are different ways to do 3D visualization, extremely cool stuff, or between the doors, easy going, quick and dirty. The easy going, quick and dirty is not necessarily always the greatest, but since we have the power of GIS and we have land-based systems, why don't we just add the third dimension to that? I have the campus rendered in 3D, which is kind of cool because the official data set doesn't have the height, so we actually pulled in the height. And I want to show you guys a little tool called ArcScene. There are different ways to do that. Campus 3D, we're going to do an ArcScene and upload into the ArcScene or Scene module in ArcGIS Online. You will see that there are differences how to handle this. Yeah? And then I have a fun topic, and I think students from the site planning class will hug me after this class now for the fun topic stuff. Okay? I'm excited. There are a few things about GIS that really make me happy. So,
what is ArcPro?
ArcPro is the next generation of ArcGIS desktop and online as a hybrid. For ArcPro, you need to have a desktop to install it and run it, and you need to have a license concept that is supported by the online world. So you need an online account that feeds into your ArcPro. The operations between both worlds are combined in ArcPro. Yeah? And we do have ArcPro here. ArcPro is somewhat a separate animal. I owe you like an hour-ish, 2 hours more instructions. You will get an ArcPro video. Yeah? There's also a very cool little tiny handbook, workbook for ArcPro that was not yet completely mature enough for a whole textbook for a class. So I want you to leave this class with the knowledge that you gained, but I also know that you need to put in 1 or 2 more hours with this ArcPro. We have the classroom open for the rest of the semester. And I have enough points, credit points to give you guys. Remember, I said we have enough credit points for each student to get through this class and have your account open probably till the end of Christmas-ish. So if you need 100, 200 points for additional classwork stuff to explore functions, that's not a problem. If you come in for 1,000 points because you want to run a project for your consulting company, I have a problem. You don't stop learning GIS. And they just announced, and I have it actually on my management side, the so-called pre-release for 10.6, which is kind of fun because the 10.5.1 based textbook for students is coming out in November. So we're already, again, almost like a version number behind with that. This can happen. The other part is that with Pro is yet a little bit too early, too new for the industry. Just had this week a conversation with the senior real estate analyst for a company from one of our board members. We had a GIS conversation, and I'm like really blunt and say, hey, what are you running? No? Are you doing ArcGIS desktop? Are you doing Pro? Online, business analyst desktop or business analyst online? They're doing business analyst desktop, and they're doing ArcGIS desktop. And they just started with online for easier delivery to the clients, if they actually have someone to work outside. Did
you say business analyst desktop?
Yeah.
Oh, is there such a thing?
The business analyst desktop is a complex and very complicated animal compared to the business analyst online.
Right.
The data set is about, the annual data set is about 40 gigabyte. compressed to download and blows up. It's multiple thousands of dollars in licensing. That's the reason why we actually only have one desktop for me. We looked into business analyst for desktop as a classroom setup, like we do this. The trade-off compared to the online version for future work is minimal. Where I said I cannot justify the additional cost for all that. It's a development process. Come back in 5 years, I might actually have like a center for geospatial real estate data. I don't know. It would be fun. It would be busy. All right. So that's the battle plan. All right. Again, I want to find enough time for you guys to come back and work on your project, set up. And that is different from checking in with an email or being here on the computer. So a little bit of the classroom time for that. And then, remind me, before we forget, course evaluations started last night. You should all have gotten an email about course evaluations. And have been slotted actually for Sunday to Sunday, and I asked the officer who's in charge of that to actually open it up for Saturday and then run it. Why? Because I believe that if I have a computer class with 30 computers in the room and I encourage my students to evaluate the class and I leave the classroom, that's better than sending out an email, hey, reminder, you please fulfill this. Course evaluations are very important in multiple facets. One is to see that we did this right, educating you. It shows how you learn things. Yeah? That's the important part, the most important part. For me, it shows if I have done something wrong or right. And I go back and see those reports a few weeks later. Again, I will see them after the grades are submitted. I will not know who wrote what or who created what in my evaluation. That's important. I had a student who failed the class complaining that the grade was changed after this evaluation was done. No, the grade was changed because he asked for a regrade, and during the regrade, I could prove that he completely plagiarized. So, different class, not this one. However, I am taking this super serious. If I get positive and negative comments about my teaching style or the workload or everything else you did not confirm or be happy with in my class, doesn't mean that in course evaluation for any of my colleagues and myself across the board of this university, that this is a judgment day. Professional reflection and review. No profanity and nastiness. But again, we look into these evaluations because of learning outcomes. Did the student learn? How did the professor deliver that outcome to you? So is everyone at the end happy? And lastly, some universities, including this, are looking at the evaluations and saying, okay, over the course of 4 or 5 years, is there a pattern of excellence or is there a pattern of being miserable as an educator? And if you show a pattern of being completely miserable with your students, you are not going to be considered for future employment. Really brutal words. Yeah? So I'm not fishing for compliments. You know me well enough. That's not how I am. Fill out the evaluations at the end of this class and be honest with your work. You can also use the computers here to fill out the site planning class because you should see both evaluations if you're both in the class. It takes 10 minutes, happy reflection, negative reflection. I'm happy with both. And I will send out an email out as a reminder about that again. All right, where are we at? Business Analyst Online. BAO. As we log in. Any idea where the rest of the clue is? Right. So, we can do different things. We said we're starting with new maps. A new maps project, so I go up here on maps. You see this? And I say I want to create a new project. Takes a moment. And let's call this just class demo. Demo 1. Maybe some another one today.
How long are these files saved under our names for the course?
Until I delete your account.
Nice.
That means next week.
December. 2 weeks.
Takes some time. The more you work with ArcGIS Online, a business analyst, it actually charges you, the more data you put into that storage, and it's actually charging you for it. It's a cloud system. So put a gigabyte of data, you get charged for a gigabyte of data. So at some point I'm getting a little bit sensitive in terms of the amount of what I pay for storage. If you haven't logged in for 3 months, let's talk about backing up your data and then get rid of it. Alright, we have done this. So it should pop up actually with a map. Or we just simply click here on Open Class Demo. Since this is a new project and I have not yet, say, skipped this in the future, you actually have here a bunch of tutorials how to do things. We gently X out. And then with our massive mousing skills, we wheel into the Miami area, West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, something like that. But you have like this kind of quadrant, Pembroke Pines, connector. I keep saying connector because my old work town had a connector from downtown into the next interstate. So, 595. Yeah. All right. So, well, maybe you'll assume a little bit more. Let's just do this. If I would like to have a report later on, and we will go through a customized report template, I would like now to define areas for the report. Let's say I'm interested in material about the city of Plantation. But if you look at Plantation, if you have a little bit local knowledge, this area is considered Sunrise here. This area is considered Plantation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is considered Plantation. Mm-hmm. And then where are we? University and Fifth. This area is still Plantation. I think it ends somewhere here. Yeah? So Plantation is this little odd child of zip codes and cities, which is somewhat stretched out. It's not as compact as Cooper City or Dayton. They are fairly nicely blocked. If I, in addition, want to be just interested into, let's say, this area here, Broward Boulevard, that kind of triangle cut, piece of pizza, how would I do this? Well, I can actually now go in here, define areas for report. What we have done so far is we found the location and basically said here, find location or pin the location, and we clicked here and we placed the location. And we did a drive time analysis around that. If I don't want to do this, and I'm interested in this area here, I can go in here for the define areas. Simply click once. I have find location. That's what I just demonstrated. We have done this. You can type in here in the search field for a specific address. That was part of the assignment. So if I want to define this, I can have the select geography and can see how the bricks already down, or I can draw a polygon. This is the step I want to do first. So I click on this, and you can see here on the side. Let's move this out a little bit. That's weird stuff here. Alright. So now you can actually say freehand or polygon. Well, one thing we don't like is freehand. I just don't get it in GIS. Polygon is more defined. So I click on polygon, and now it says click to start drawing. So zoom in a little bit, just to make this easier for you guys, and start on Flamingo Road and Proud Boulevard here. So what you see now is a rubber band line. We're doing the same thing, just like we did in digitizing. I follow Proud Boulevard. I might have to clear this way. And right now it looks like a line, but if you move it around, that's the reason why. If you move it around to University, come on. And then down, it should actually open up, yep, here we go, as a polygon. So we follow 595, mid-center, so we have 84 included. And the last one is going to be a double click. Yeah, similar like we did polygon digitizing in our building footprint example. Right? Can be a little bit tedious, but depending on the scale, how far you zoomed in and zoomed out, you might want to make sure that you differentiate between which side on the street you are on. All right, everyone got that?
Yeah.
So we can actually rename this. Let's call it polygon plantation. And hit apply. Just in case we want that later. Alright, so reports and infographics. That's something I've seen before. Same thing when we added a location, it pops up like this. Alright, cool, right? Why don't I just click infographics? Well, infographics runs now a standardized default setting for my, let's say, my demographics, my income, and educational attainment. So this is some very quick and fast information for that area of interest.
Actually, we name it?
What?
I missed
That polygon?
Yeah.
We named the polygon plantation.
There's a little pencil right next to the word polygon.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I show you in a second. So this infographics is really cool. I can actually now easily say, okay, fine, show me these numbers. This is actually coming here, show me comparison to Broward County. Yeah. Here, this is the age comparison for females in my polygon area. Here's the key facts for my area. Yeah. Family median household is almost $80,000. I can click on this now here, and it would actually give me another infographic and a breakdown. Yeah. And in comparison, I think, to Broward County again. Yeah. So you can see the lower brackets here are actually less represented in that specific area, and the higher income brackets over 200,000, as example here, is about 9% higher compared to Broward County. The catch on this X out. If your area is super, super small, you can't really compare it. Because some of this data is not necessarily available in the street block or census block level. Yeah? So the larger your research area is, the better you deal with somewhat the issues of systematic biases in aggregation of data. Boom, systematic bias of aggregation of data. That's a huge problem. You need to be aware of that for business analysts. Not all the statistics and data you get from business analysts are down to earth on a subdivision level. Can't be. It's a nationwide info set. Yeah? They are really good, but keep that thing in mind. Be very, very critical about your data. It's great that we can pinpoint down that, say, the laundry detergent is $7.25 spent per household in an area. How large is your area?
3.62 square miles.
No, that was rhetorical, but yeah. If you have this area here versus just us or even half of us, you're sampling like your pinky into the whole table. And the whole table is your reference as a comparison for it. Keep that in mind. So if I would do a county-to-county comparison, oh yeah. If I would do larger zip codes or a whole city of Fort Lauderdale to comparison, yeah. So the smaller you get, the more trouble you probably will face being justifiable with your data. That you say, hey, this is robust enough. Or in statistical terms, you can say this is significant. So be aware of that. Could be an issue. Don't say there will be one, but there could be one. And just stating that, saying, hey, there could be an issue, we need to be critical with this, is sometimes good enough to make that, a good argument. All right? So, next, let's choose a geography as a zip instead of a zip code. So we can actually go now here, define areas for reports again. We can do select geography. So now I can search places, regions, yeah? Or I can use the visual component select from map to deal with this. Yeah? So I actually go and say select from map. Now you can see all these different variations of geographies. We do know this. This is our country. These are the states. Yeah? And then you have counties, zip codes, census tract, block groups, metropolitan areas, designated market areas, DMAs, cities, towns, congressional districts, or even county subdivisions. Yeah? In case you can't remember what census tracts, block groups are, real estate market analysis. Yeah? The office of the U.S. Census Bureau is cutting the whole nation in slices by counties, census tracts, block groups, and blocks. That's the reporting units for most demographic data, which is really, really powerful. Let's hope that 2020 comes every 10 years, that in 2020 we will have a in-depth assessment on what's going on with demographics again in the US. Because they changed the system, so if you do a lot of data crunching, there's a lot of adjustment you have to do. So, fingers crossed that we get good data. Alright, what I want to go for is, because this is not a demographic-driven class, this is more a retail and real estate-driven class, let's go for zip codes.
You can't do it like you do in printing and say selection. Do it from that, like, you know how you do the polygon and then just do selection instead of.
Well, you look at the map, what just happened? All the zip codes I can select from just popped up. Yeah? So if I want to, I can now select zip codes. Let's do something different I did for prep. And let's zoom into for the Davie area. Yeah? and say, hey, everything along Griffin Road, this one, and this one is really cool. Yeah, those three. So triple 314, triple 328, and then triple 330. Yeah? So even without knowing which zip code is in which area, because I can identify this visually through the map, yeah, I can pick those guys.
Go back.
Alright? Do you want to combine geographies into one site?
There you
Oh yeah. Keep yes and say next. Alright, so now I have areas called 3 zip codes. And I can do again infographics if I want to. And now you can see demographics, age pyramid is different. That little corner we pulled out for the plantation part definitely had way more people here, yeah, by age groups.
Are you selecting both right now, the zip codes and the little part
No,
together?
just the 3 zip codes.
Yeah.
Do you have a different version on your computer?
No,
If you go to key facts in the upper left-hand corner, and then you go to marketing profile.
72, 105, 72, 105. You have the same numbers, different colors. Oh, you changed it?
Marcus profile, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there is a ton of possibilities to deal with this. You also can choose here different ideas. Yeah, I'm running market profile. I could also do demographic summary. Yeah.
So Tom, every time we run one of these profiles,
You run credits.
we run credits?
Yep. I put 150 credits for everyone to last night on, so if we run out now, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So again, different setup for, let's say, the demographic summary. All right. Let's keep the marketing profile. Again, quick infos, tapestry segments is something really interesting. If you start telling a story for your project, you're combining multiple factors of, let's say, indicators and lifestyle combined. Yeah? You know, adding age, income, college education, first or second job, single, no single, family, kids, etc. together. What you do is you describe actually tapestry segments, lifestyle segments, or prism data, yeah? Or Claritas data. Those are 3 different names and products. Yeah? But they deal all with one thing. If you combine certain socio-economic and demographics components together, you have a specific stereotype of customer. And believe it or not, if you would be an undergraduate on a serious tiny budget, yeah, I could tell you, well, grad students are on budgets too. I had my fair share of ramen noodles in my life as well. But you can, my marketing professor walked up and said, what's your major? Well, the guy answered, sports economics, like sports management. You are about 20 years old? Yeah? All right, this is what you have in your refrigerator. And drilled it down to the brand and type of yogurt that student had. Yeah? Because if you are a sports management student, 20 years old, and sitting in the advanced marketing lecture of that professor, there are 3 indicators already. You're a specific income group. You're not going to have $150,000 annual. Yeah, that's for sure. That might be your loan you take out. And. Same thing here with the tapestry data. You have, let's say, the professional bride, or the young and restless, or the savvy suburbanites. If you click on this here, you actually get, for the savvy suburbanites, I would not think the savvy suburbanites should be that old, but you get married couples, 44 and median age, professional or management position, have a college degree, You have an income. Question now, is this combined household income or per person? Yeah? And you have those typical white families. Yeah? All your professional pride, a little bit younger, married, different income, higher. Yeah? So you could explore this for the young investors. That looks more like my average student here. It is single household 29, services or professional degrees, college degree 36,000. I hope you make more. And race is white and black. Yeah. So you can dig in on that, and there is actually also a what we call metadata. Actually, you have to read up what feeds into these tapestry data and how they're actually processed. Again, the report function between draw a polygon in our own shape versus the zip code can make life a little bit easier. Particularly since in the real estate industry, for some reason, the closest one you get is MLS data with zip code on submarkets, depending on which area in the country you are, they're representative or not. And I'm talking representative as in transport the data in and out, let's say through planning, real estate management data. What? Any questions about that?
When you run the infographics, how did you do to select only the zip codes as opposed to both of them? You just click on it?
Click on it and run it.
Okay.
So when you run it, does it compare to the one above of it?
Aha! Aha! If I want to compare, I
Yes.
could do reports. Comparison reports. Create site comparison reports with tables and graphs. Now, I have a bunch of sites I created over the past time with my Classroom account. So you can see I have 4 zip codes and Polygon from last night. Here's 3 zip codes and Polygon Plantation. I can now fill this out and say, hey, select the geographies, compare to your chosen site, optional. If I don't do that, it compares site by site, or it should compare site by site. And I can say, okay, what do I want to compare? Yeah? Let's just compare population. So now for my 3 zip codes and or my plantation area, I can now look at population, households, income, how they team up. But again, I need to double check what these numbers really mean and how they look like. Yeah? So you can really go in depth on that. Spend a lot of time for that. Yeah? And you can use this actually for the projection 2022. And this is how they actually project the income in 2022 in these 2 areas. Yeah? Again, make it meaningful. Just a street block, yeah, compared to the whole county or half of Fort Lauderdale doesn't make sense. Meaningful comparison. That means, yes, I can go with 3 or 4 zip codes. That should give me enough data because the underlying support data, among other things, is census data. And the larger my area turns, the more aggregated data, but a little bit more stable data I can get if I want to do projections out. Goes into the whole issue of trends and projections and estimates. I'm not dealing with this right now. I'd rather have you understand, hey, I have a really cool data mining tool that gives me that information with certain hold on ideas. Hold on, hold your horses. You have to look at this as critical. But it's a good first step to open that Pandora's box of data mining. All right?
Is it possible to compare the 2 boxes you have up top, or do you have to actually select the zip codes only? Can you know the 2 boxes up top, like you have the Polygon Plantation and you have the 3 zip codes? Can you go back?
That's
return?
this.
Or-
Those are 3 zip codes.
Oh, so even if you don't press it, you just go on the bottom, it already compares the 2? Or you
Yeah.
compares the 3? Oh,
Selected sites. I selected the sites the 3 zip codes and my polygon plantation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah? So you could actually add more. I could run this here for 4 zip codes and do a household comparison. Now I have 3 different areas, and the 4 zip codes was pretty much the 4 blocks around Davie, Pine Island Road. Yeah? Alright. One more thing for this part. If I want to go back to maps, so now what we have is our polygon plantation, our 3 zip codes, yeah? And how would I like to find businesses? Because it says create data, create maps from data, yeah? And I can use different tools. And since we have a business focus, I would like to search for businesses and facilities. This is how I got my McDonald's. All right? Everyone got that? So, I can click on more options. I can have different search functions. Remember Nike's codes? This is where I can search for Nike's codes. If you have that specific, like a VIN number for a specific industry, I don't need to have its name. I can go down by that number, like a zip code for businesses. Yeah? And important part is current map extent. So we zoom in a little bit. So I have Commercial Boulevard up in the north, and then Griffin-ish at the bottom. And the reason why I'm doing this is every data operation now in my map extent is generating credits, charging credits actually. Yeah? So I want to make sure that I don't have the whole state of Florida, A for performance, and B, we're a little bit cheap. Yeah? Alright, what are we going to look for? Something we have seen in September pretty heavily. Let's search for Home Depot. And hit OK. Or go. Alright, so now I can go down here. Business name. Remember in our McDonald's example, we had multiple McDonald's even before it was a hardware store. Yeah? I can go by city and say, Sunrise. I want to select only Sunrise, and everyone else should disappear. Yeah? I also have here Nike space code that tells me I have home centers, home improvement, and mobile home equipment. Yeah? I also say now only home centers. Why? Because if I have a Home Depot, I could have what? A garden center, a tool rental, yeah? And an net. And the way they structured, this is when you rent your rock doctor and the other tools, it's actually a different company you're renting from under the umbrella of Home Depot. That's the reason why we had number 2s here on these locations. Yeah? And now we can say next.
Question.
Yep.
When we ran the Home Depot search, how come they picked up every Home Depot all over Broward instead of just the zip code?
Because it looks at the map extent.
Because the way you have the maps map.
So if you zoom further out, it would be on.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Got it.
So if you're far out like this,
Okay.
it'll pick up between Coral Springs and Campbell all the Home Depots that are listed in the database.
Okay.
And then you can filter and filter and filter.
Okay.
Yeah? So I can go next. I can change those guys if I want to. Yeah? If I want to change this for a specific variable, let's say here now you can see the number of employees. And I could save this as Home Depots. And now I can see credit usage. Total records we're going to use is 2. It's going to charge me 0.02 credits. All right?
But only if you save it, you're gonna run the credits.
Yeah.
So if you're running the report, but as long as you're not saving.
You get charged for the report as well.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
So everything you take away from the web page and
Okay.
use is just the idea of it. Okay?
How
You're so
many,
tight.
what did you come up for total records? I have 7. Does it matter?
And you didn't filter it the right way. We filtered it for sunrise, and we filtered it for, let's go back. For sunrise, and then for
Oh.
home centers only. Again, remember the select by attribute. When we combined, do the city name and the amount of living space. This is what you're doing. Do the city of sunrise and the time of business.
How you get to the certain
You change the symbology. Basically said here, change the symbology.
Now I have 2.
Yeah.
Counts and amounts.
And then I did save it already, so I can continue without saving. And done.
sunrise and
And Home Depot is time. Alright? So for the next 3-4 minutes, what I want you guys to do is use that search function, as in create maps from data, business search, and pick 2 or 3 companies, interests, banks, financial services that you think that will fit for your project. Everyone had something out as a competition or certain amenities. What about restaurants? What about car dealerships, hotels, etc.? Yeah? We're going to do a 5-minute break, aka play with this stuff, and or go run to the bathroom. Now stretch your legs a little bit. Yeah? So we get through this, because when you have these search functions and get a little bit used to save this as a site, we can actually build then a custom report, and you can run that immediately with the custom report for your site of interest. So you don't have to redo things 5 times. Do a 5-minute break,
From
so
a,
everyone can shake up their heads.
from a land research point of view, is it possible to look at by zoning? By zone codes? No?
No, because yes and no. What you would need to do is, for the specific municipality you're interested in, you would have to load the zoning data
Right.
and then pick and make, and let's say a report for that specific site.
That's,
So, but you
that's,
don't,
that's
also,
essentially what I'm gonna have to do for my project.
also, you don't have to do this in one package, because I can identify that site in one tool, and based on its location, I can create that area here as a location for mapping and report purposes. You don't have to have zoning inside here immediately for a report function. For visualization, you can use that on desktop or in ArcGIS Online. If it's online, you actually can port it over and vice versa. There's the bunch of buckets in your content. Yeah? But if you identify this corner here as your project idea, you can just manually select that location, because you know exactly this is the parcel of interest. You don't have to load the zoning code for that to show a line red. for
Well, I know,
permission.
but the way I'm looking at it is from a different perspective. I'm trying to find a piece of property in
With a
the
certain
state of
size.
Florida that fits these types of zones by looking at the maps. You know,
Yeah.
cross-referencing against what's for sale and looking at the zoning map so I can figure
I
out.
know, and what was it, 20 acres, 40 acres?
Yeah, about 15 acres.
Yeah, so in your case, you actually might be better off if you, let's say, do Miami-Dade and Broward County, and dump all the parcels into personal your tier database on your machine. Because then you have more power on that, and you have less credits on non-usable storage. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
It's fairly easy with a few tricks in data management, because you're running against numbers.
Is it any better to work with the distance, live distance, than mapping?
depends on
Yeah, I'm gonna go
the
to
you
get
have.
some coffee. Do you want some?
If I'm interested in the area and say, hey, what's going on,
Girls want
say
anything?
I want a bagel.
You
want a bagel?
Say here.
I'll get you a bagel. What
If
do
you
you want?
want, if
Huh?
you wanna have a
Cream
channel
cheese.
overview and say, hey, what's going
Toasted
on.
sausage.
Restaurant.
What kind of bagel are you
Toasted.
getting? Wait, what kind of
Toasted.
bagel are you getting?
Ham and
In
cheese.
your case,
steak.
both works.
Just cream cheese.
And it
Where
also
is it
depends
though?
on what kind of data you wanna compare to. You could do drive time.
He went that way, you better hurry
In
up,
your
you're about to
case,
miss
you
some.
might wanna just say, instead of
Don't
3
be right.
zones, I wanna do just 2 zones. Like, 2 customers 20 minutes or 10, 15, or 20 minutes away.
Oh,
And
he
then
went
maybe
left, he
someone
made a U-turn,
has a
there
review
he
and
is.
that, short notice.
Cause he about to miss him.
So exists, but it has this fantastic restaurant in the middle. If
I have to drive 1 hour.
it's
Oh,
okay.
Crystal, you missed
in
him.
the
He's
context
probably
of
already
this
outside
region,
the-
1
the-
hour
the
is
double
okay.
doors.
You do this, and it's fine. It's
You're rushing.
night, and then you run down there, get a half a bottle of wine, take the rest of it home. No? So that's a different concept. Again, the willingness to travel to a certain destination needs to be clear. So if this is an ethnic food place and it's one of the best in the region, huh? I might drive there. That's a fantastic, down here in the south, that's a fantastic German food place. But they're charging $18 or $20 for one schnitzel. On Mondays and Tuesdays, it's $25 for 2. But then life doesn't work out and mood doesn't work out, so I haven't been there for a while. But it's in Coral Gables, it's 45-minute drive. You preferably don't want to do it alone.
Correct.
Huh?
One
So-
more thing, if we are working online, ArcGIS online and behavior online, that means that I can do it in my Mac.
Yes,
I don't need the program.
it's web-based. In a browser, it's in Chrome.
So I don't need
We
to.
ha- I don't
need
touch
to do anything if I don't want because
Nope,
I'm very doing better.
exactly,
in the online.
I will repeat that after, when I come back.
All right. And then I can do it in my laptop.
Yeah.
Yo, I ran after him, but then he's going to the other building, so I was like, screw it, bro. Not that. I saw him running. I was like, I'm not doing that, not today.
It's up to your final project.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
I'll reach out to Alex.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only board that I know of. Did you mention that Thursday? Did you mention it? I know you were coming live.
Oh, no, I can't.
Everybody was tired from
Yeah, yeah.
But you came in Thursday? Oh, that face.
All right. Oh yeah, this is not a full breakfast break, folks. Where is everyone? Alright.
I think you kind of threw him off when you mentioned bagels.
Well, I also said 10 minutes ago, let's do a 5-minute break. So let's go for it. Do the rest. We can stop doing those breaks.
Right.
Yeah? Foggy
I
doesn't do that.
didn't leave.
No, I'm
I'm
saying,
here
my dear colleague, Dr. Foggy, is not doing them. He runs 4 hours straight. So if we need to go overtime with this stuff, gotta do it. All right, let's do a report. So I can go back here in reports and actually go and build reports. And I can scroll down. This is the issue we had last time.
Sorry,
Build reports. Just
How did you get to build?
reports, build reports.
Reports, build reports.
Yeah, and again, for some reason, this guy doesn't like me. Let's see if we can change that. If we make it quiet.
So did you, would you say to Angelo about the zoning, there's no way of,
There's always a way, and she asked, the question is how complicated it's going to be.
how complicated is it?
All right, let me change it to a different browser, if not even difficult.
What?
You can always like go on like a property appraisal website and
I don't know.
sometimes
Right?
they give you an option to do like a zoning or overlay.
Okay,
Palm Beach County has that.
okay.
Or maybe you could check the other.
Appreciate it.
I don't know.
Yeah, so his research idea is to find a specific site in a specific zoning code.
Wait, which one did you click?
And but the recommendation, because of South Florida, not a localized area, I would recommend to do that on a local machine rather than online. In his case, because if you're looking only for, let's say, manufactured home parks in a certain size,
Right.
you carry on all the other residentials and commercial sites as well. So it's data management pain.
Yeah.
Let's log in here.
When you clicked on build a report or build reports, did you click on 1 or 2?
Well, I'm not there yet, and I need to restart the
Oh, okay,
browser
okay.
because my browser doesn't show the second
Okay.
area. There are two menu popping up. One is use regular reports, and the other one is like build your own customized template. Reports, class demo. Here, build reports. And das gibt's doch nicht. I cannot open this one up. Can you get to the second part?
Try Chrome. Chrome.
I just left Chrome.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
same.
We're good.
You guys are good?
Yeah.
That's the reason why we have a second laptop. Because it did that last week.
No, the other company, my inspection.
Okay. But you saw it, right? You saw that company.
No, I sold the other company. Restore Max.
I remember, yes.
Alright, let's try this here. Business analyst.
There you go.
Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome.
Told you it was good at this.
There you go.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
We had to switch
I'm
computers,
hungry too.
so. Alright.
So
like,
Oh.
does it work for you?
Kinda.
Yeah. What's that? That's zip code code.
Yeah, it's just,
Oh, it's cool. Well, in your case.
Okay, for those who had extended breakfast break, what we have done is we went to business analyst to reports, build reports. Yeah, reports, class demo, build reports.
So you already started working on the project.
Still a resolution problem or what?
Check this out.
So at home, it works. Do you see the second button on the screen?
It says good.
Build a report.
I can go up.
Yeah, here, do you see build report from variables starting with blank template?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made this yesterday.
No.
What does it look like?
Shows me a tutorial.
Control minus.
Looks like
Report?
Ah!
Report. Huh?
It's a resolution problem, so if that is...
This one, right? Okay, get started. Boom.
yeah, it's visual. Alright. Control minus, control plus for zoom in, zoom out. Good call. Thanks for reminding me. Get started.
Forgot the name.
Alright? So again, in Business Analyst Online, Katharina.
What did you put on now?
Remember this, in Business Analyst Online, we log in, go for reports, build reports. Alright, so I have here pre-selected reports. Can you see this? Because I had to change the zoom in and zoom out.
Yep.
Yeah? And I have select variables. So if I'm interested in something really specific, I can even search for this. Let's start with simple stuff. Population. If I click on this, it gives me the usual suspects of population data. If I find that I need to have an idea of what's the gender distribution in my specific research area, that is your site, could be your polygons, could be your zip codes, or your drive time, I can click on gender. Now I can have the breakdown in 5 years increments according to the US Census, or the 5-year increments according to SRED. Remember, you're tapping into a database that is fed from multiple so-called data vendors. And that's the reason why it's expensive stuff, because they buy the data from people who are data crunching and mining all the time. I can also choose here the variations, which years I'm interested in. If I'm only interested in the 2010 data, I don't need to search the other stuff. Yeah? Let's do gently click here on the arrow. Now you can actually see here all the age brackets popping up. Yeah? If you are interested, let's say Carlos, Eagle Scout, Boy Scouts, that would be what, 10 to 14?
11 to 18. Yeah.
Alright, well, why don't we do the 10 to 14 here? And then we do the 15 to 19 as well. Yeah?
Just drag and drop.
Just drag and drop.
And then what? 15, 15.
Would be one example. If I want to see how this will look like, I can go and say sample values. So it show me in that specific area a sample value here. I can move this around if I want to. Yeah? I can go and do split areas, add additional items here, etc. I can customize this so it looks like it's my own company's report. Like in theory, we can even get rid of the SRED here. Huh?
No, okay.
What else would be interesting? Let's go back to categories. Let's say income. Disposable income. And I just say disposable income 2017. You know what? I want them all. Drag and drop. Now we get the power of how the edges is going. What if I don't want to have a predefined thing? And again, with income, you actually have here, you can also search your brackets manually. Yeah? Let's do something more detailed. Who has a food-based project? Ed? Who else has food-based?
Food?
Food, yeah. Yum yum, nom nom. Yeah? What? You know, folks, that's legit way to describe food. Yum yum nom nom.
Technical
Yeah.
term like that.
Technical terms, yes, exactly. All right, if I want to open a restaurant, what kind of marketing or market data would be interesting for me to know? Competitors, locations or competitors, yeah? Let's say you're the absolutely most fantastic German food restaurant in this region. There's no way that someone else can compete with you. They would like to know what?
Your competition.
Suppliers, yeah.
Money spent for
Money spent for food. Because if you want to open a restaurant in an area where no one is dining out, you won't have the customers who come to your restaurant. No? So, let's say dining. By type in dining, I get a bunch of variables, 33. Yeah, we can break this down. Here now you actually have the Bureau of Labor Statistics included. Yeah, the GfK is the Gesellschaft für Kaufkraft. I think that was a German company expanding. Yeah. So now you see dining out, consumer spending, household furnishings, appliances, goods, consumer.
where is customer search?
Yeah.
So what?
Customer search. How do you get that?
Select variables, categories, search function here on top. Again, I do dining as an example.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Hit search. Now I have the 2017 dining data. Look, food away from home, meals at restaurant, food away from home for lunch, food away from home at a fast food restaurant. I am interested in all of them and drag and drop them. And now I can see this is a little bit larger than the other ones. Okay? Lists everything. Employer site, vending machine, dinner, snacks, breakfast, school meals. Every time you swipe your credit card, that is a transaction that one of those data vendors will trace. Every time you sign up for a customer savings program, like the Winn-Dixie card or Plenty or something like this, well, that's the reality. You're signed up for data mining. Recent political decisions open up your internet service provider, as in everything you surf, everything you browse is now owned by your ISP and can be sold for marketing data.
ISP.
ISP, internet service provider.
Ah,
From
okay.
Comcast, as an example. Huh?
Because I've noticed like when I go to say ABC liquor shop and I buy like Glenlivet's, right? And the next day on my Facebook, Instagram, everywhere is Glenlivet's. I'm like, they know everything I do. It's
Yeah.
like, how do I stop this? Like I really don't want them to know what I shop. What if I shop for
Philosophy
something
on this
bad?
is, if you Google something,
Cash, buying cash.
if you Google something,
That's
all the data
understandable.
mining engines in the background of the world, when you open up your Facebook feed and your advertisement will change.
That's correct.
Yeah?
What
Which is kind of funny, even for if you, let's say, go to Amazon, search at Amazon something, it works the other way around. And then those companies will customize and tailor your next marketing campaign for it.
is there a
So
way to
if
stop
you
it?
swipe if you have a specific pattern for groceries and products,
Right.
that's distinct from him, Jesus will get different shopping coupons. Because there's a different idea of what he's consuming or not. Single guy, family guy, he buys diapers, you don't. Different shopping pattern. Yeah? You can mess up your friends' coupons easily if you just Google the different versions. Yeah? Yes, please.
Do you know the example of like Target and like the pregnancy thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was Google, was it? Or Target?
I think it was Target.
Target
What was
was
it?
Target.
They had like a campaign using like GIS to try to, for like pregnant women, to try to figure out what items they're buying.
Okay.
And so they basically found a formula for like whatever they buy, this, and like 90% of the
That's
time
the
they're pregnant.
most common way, most common example. And they actually try to trace people down, and they did a too good job for the tracing down, because people who have not been pregnant and or in that area got that information.
So
Because
get
they
like
have
a
been
package
too
of-
precise with their data algorithm.
So that's like a
So-
package for
the
every
saying
pregnant woman to
is-
buy?
They just sent you like a coupon.
Yeah.
And so basically, like, they revealed that this one girl was pregnant, she didn't tell her family, she was like a teenager, like, all this stuff, and they sent like all these pregnancies.
Gossip aside, to make
Congratulations.
this, to give you the cash, to give you the idea of data mining with Google searches. In September, October, November, when the flu season starts, cold and flu season, Google algorithms are better in predicting where is a cold or flu outbreak than actually the report functions through local physicians.
From the medicine they buy.
Because if you're feeling sick, if you have temperature, what are you going to do? You Google, or other search engine wise, you Google your symptoms.
Can we stop that somehow, or no?
Yeah, can we block it?
I used the credit card purchases.
Gotta
Google
deal
understand.
with it. Gotta deal with it. I don't know. But again, what happens is, and you can answer this already, your IP address, your computer is what on a Google map? An X, Y, a dot, a location. And every time you type in something, it adds to the attribute data what you have been looking for, what have you been searching for. It maybe associates with you with your Facebook account, all the other things. So the same thing like we did the businesses when we geocoded them, or the XY table when we put it on. You search for the daily 100 in one example, yeah? It's the same thing like I would search for the XY of your example, women that bought certain products that could be identified of being prepared for pregnancy. Huh? Or you go to the doctor's offices and query all the doctors in the region to do that prescribe prenatal hormones. Because some women take special hormone packages to prepare for a pregnancy.
Any way to stop?
I don't know how to stop it.
Just the credit card. I don't care about the Google search. I can clear the history. I don't care about that. But just the credit card. Just scary.
I don't know.
Use cash.
Use cash, but then you ruin your
Your name
credit
is
report.
Cash Cash.
Yeah.
Change the credit now.
Alright, fine. Let's save this. Down here at the bottom right. Save this. Huh? And we can save this as, I don't know. I call it the fun report, fun demo. Fun demo one. Because for me, right now, this is demonstration. I have no business purpose to maintain this report later on. What? Yeah, but you gotta do this for educational purposes. Alright, now I run my report. Now it will tell me, hey, what site do you want to run it for? Yeah? I could do it for the polygons or for the 3 zip codes. I run it for 3 zip codes. Let's zoom in here a little bit more. Here on the top, I choose my 3 zip codes as a site of interest. Yeah? And I say, select the reports, 3 zip codes, fun one demo. Run now. I select my 3 zip codes, add report here, fun demo 1 was selected, and I run it now for that specific area. I can select multiple reports, multiple areas at the same time. Yeah? Now it says report saved in a specific location. Let's go and find this location. Alright? Let's go back to reports. Oh, here, open report. Easier. And in my case, it pops open an Adobe Online Reader, and now I can zoom in. The report is called Fun Demo 1, here on the top. We selected 3 zip codes, which shows me only one and others in Latin. Yeah? So you might want to rename this and make that more specific. For the Carlos example, we can look now that we have in that specific area, we have age 15 and 19 and 10, 14. Remember, we drag and drop that. It's not the right order. But you now could say, okay, fine, this is the population you have as potential targets for your club idea. Disposable income breakdowns in age bracket, in money brackets here. This is the amount of people having these. You also see the median disposable income for the whole area per person. Again, you got to make sure that you know if it's per person or per household. We did population, so it should be person. And then the dining out. And see, we didn't put a break in between, so it runs almost seamlessly in here into the report. But now you can see this is the consumer spending in those 3 zip codes for dining out, etc. All combined. Now Ed could go and take 2 or 3 other sites and compare them and build reports for them. Also, I can, if this is my report here, my Fun Demo 1, I also can say, hey, run this as Excel, add Excel, run the report, open the report, and it just opens up in Excel.
That is dope.
So now, if I would be interested in a specific area here, let's say these guys, as a comparison, I can actually use that now and remodify it if needed in my own Excel spreadsheet and table. Remember, there's a difference between the pre-manufactured report and maybe I customize a little bit the layout because of my professionally formatted mini report, like for the final project. Please, if you're looking at just like 6 or 7 of these numbers, don't attach a whole report. At least not in your text. Don't turn page 10 and have 15 pages of report. Be more precise and say, hey, we ran a report, standard demographics. These are the 5, 6 key variables that are important. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions?
Do this again on the Excel export, please.
All right. So we built this report called Fun Demo.
Right.
Yeah. Here, if I want to run reports, I first select the site I'm interested in. I have multiple sites here in the example. Right now here I'm using the 3 zip codes as we define it. I also have the opportunity to select the format of the report. I can have also here standardized reports. All of these like retail goods and services expenditures, etc., etc., etc. Let's say I run the census profile as an example. I can choose Excel and click Add. Then now I can see the 2010 census profile reporting for the zip code areas, and I can run now as Excel. And you can see this is the PDF sign, this is the little X in the icon here. That's the reason why I can differentiate that. And I say open.
So the default is actually PDF. All you gotta do is convert to Excel and then shoot it over.
I'll say both.
Okay.
And the moment it's done, I open the report, download, open up, and now I can see the census data for that specific area in its breakdown. Fairly straightforward. No? Any questions about that? Alright, I want you for the next 5 minutes, I want you to go back to the report function, yeah, and build your own little report. Find 3, 4, 5 variables you think that will feed into your project, and go through that, because you need to just explore here the search. What kind of search pattern you need to do? Is it dining out, eating out? Yeah? What kind of variables do you get for, let's say, laundry? Just to make this really bizarre. Now I get apparel, household goods, and I can dig in. I get a total of 8-ish tools only. If I do this for auto, I get 175 variables. It's easy to get lost in that big forest. Huh? Gotta have some idea of what you're looking for. Any questions? So what it basically did is, on dragons, create the project, and then the project include 2 areas of interest that show how to draw but it's super easy if you go to actually some maps. Basically create buckets where if you have there's 3 different location based analysis. One was a flat element, one was 2 other ones, one for polygon and one decided one to the simple so now if you zoom into the Miami area and find that, you can actually now here say define areas for reports. You can see this is what we have done so far. Location, just showing. When you draw a polygon area of interest, you can draw like digitizing quickly and create the specific area or the geography. And if you zoom into the Miami area now, small speed, it's easier to mouse speed. Because every time you click on the map, you want to compare it to. So now, if you want to they did once keep it all down and see how it changed.
Well, it'll have both.
So wheel is in and out, and then it will click gently, keep it down on the mouse, then you can form the cursor keys. So just for example, here if you define the area like reports, and now we have 2 say geography. You can do this select from that, and you can actually get all the types of geography. You can select zip codes. Zip codes. Now if you zoom out, you see all these black lines are now the zip code areas. So you can select this one, this one, this one, and you can run up. Yeah, or you go up there, you can stuff here. You could go up north and do it for our area, or click here. So now you have 2 zip codes, and now you can use a small area for one report. Yeah? Okay, what's the most bizarre example of what you have seen so far in the variables? Any fun stuff you found?
No, I put in drugs multiple times and we all I got was
Fertilizer for wheat. Okay. Have you? Well, she's doing a topic on medicinal marijuana. Have you looked for pharmacies? Have you looked for medical spendings?
Well, I did health insurance. Yeah.
Yeah? So there are different ways to do that.
Medical
What else? Any other fun results? No? Oh yeah.
Rental RVs and boats.
Rental RVs, okay. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. So we have enough time to get things done. I want to do a quick demo on select by location, particularly on the function called clip. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ARC catalog and find my data. Close your browser. Save your report. If you're not done with your report, keep the browser open. But it's fire up our catalog. Hey, what?
Nothing.
Oh. All right, no folder connections. Okay, let's go back to the roots. Folder connections. Add folder connection. Jump drive.
Oh, my thing is still here.
All right, where do we have that position? What did I write down? Assignment 3 data. Oh, assignment 3 data. Okay. Open up Google Chrome, log into Blackboard. There are some goodies on Blackboard.
Open Blackboard?
Yep.
Oh yeah, some fun.
Assignment 3 data?
Fun.
I need PC clip and other stuff, so Shakler and no.
We're going campus for class or fun?
Wait, give me a moment. Come on.
Or thing.
I should have renamed it in a boring name of fun. Everyone's like now looking at the fun stuff. Ah, here we go. Geographic information systems.
I don't know.
And my course content. And at the very bottom, we have to download a few things. Assignment 3 data, if you don't have that locally, you want to download that? Oh, no. Switch this.
Assignment 3 data?
Wait. Let's switch this to student view. Assignment day 3 data, because I think I don't have that here. Alright. And go back. We have campus for class GDB SIP. You need that one.
Which one are you doing? Campus?
Campus for class, and then the fun GDB as well.
Right.
Alright? And then in my downloads folder with Control E, I open up my downloads. I should see those 3 guys. And I extract them. This is WinZip, extract files 2.
Assignment 3 data?
Yeah. Same thing for campus for class, extract Win7zip, extract 2. And the same thing for fun, right click on it, 7-zip, and extract to fun GDB. Alright?
What are you doing?
Extracting data. I went to Blackboard, I download the assignment 3 data,
Got it?
campus for class data, fun GDB data. Alright? And in my download folder, I right click on each, did Win7 extract to here. Win7, 7-zip, sorry, 7-zip extract to. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you dying on me? Or it's just allergies?
Allergies.
Alright, don't. And I said extract 2 and it creates 3 folders for me here, okay?
3 folders?
Jesus, don't die.
I downloaded 3 files, extracted 3 files, and now there should be 3. Alright?
Assignment 3.
Got that?
I just got 2.
To keep them, we
We're
move
downloading
them.
roads,
No.
campus for class and fun?
No, assignment
Assignment 3 data.
campus and fun.
I think there was it. Alright? And to keep it a little bit more coordinated than on my jump drive, I create a new folder in my jump drive that says 3D. And I copy over all my data
He named it 3D, sir.
on my jump drive, so I won't lose this in the download. Alright? I repeat this verbally. I went to Blackboard, downloaded the assignment 3 data, downloaded the campus for class GDB, and the fun GDB. They extracted all of them, and because I want to keep them and work with them, I put them on my jump drive in a new folder called 3D.
The assignment 3 data, was it the McDonald's or?
No, it's a small wrapper and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I want to use a small wrapper to clip things.
Okay.
Huh? Alright? Where did we have BC clip? Remember where we had BC clip? BC clip was assignment 1?
Yeah.
Alright, let's download assignment 1. Data for assignment 1. Here, assignment 1 data set.
Do we copy that on 3D too?
Yeah, if you have BC clip, just copy over BC clip. I don't have that on my jump drive for us, but that's the reason why we're rebuilding this.
Building.
Yeah, same thing, assignment, unpack it,
What the hell is
extract, and put it into 3D. Copy. So what you just did is you found multiple sources from multiple sites and you try to organize this at the bare minimum again in one folder. Huh? You could put them all together in a tier database, but the bare minimum in one folder. Yeah? So imagine you would do this with census data, then data from the county, data from the city. Yeah? Data collection. Why? Well, for this exercise, I want to clip something. For clipping, it's a cookie cutter. So I need some dough, and I need a cookie cutter to cut those Christmas cookies. Huh? So my BC clip, remember it's called BC clip, so I already clipped something from it. I want to use the small wrapper from assignment 3, a little tiny square, and I want to clip that against data we have seen before. Fingers crossed, projections might not like us. If not, then I record a video for that. Alright, in your project folder, 3D, you should have now assignment 3 data, campus for class, fun, and the assignment 1 data. Danilo and Monica, do you guys have that? At
I
least
have
on
that.
one machine of you 3. You got it?
This assignment 3 and assignment 1?
Yep. If you don't have PC Clip. I don't. That's the reason why I didn't download all that. If I go into my ARC catalog, remember we take a look at ARC catalog and do refresh. I see my folder 3D. See, I had assignment 1, I actually had it here. So I see assignment 1 is my BC Clip. I can preview the data. Takes a moment. Looks like this. Yeah? I also see it's down there in meters. So if I look at assignment 3 data, small wrapper, it's in feet. Fingers crossed, it won't, that it will like us. Yeah? Preferable, you want to do that with the same projection. Baseball team in a baseball stadium. Yeah? So if I want to clip that, I can do this in different ways. The function clip is here in geoprocessing. Please recall, I have not yet opened ArcMap. I can run geoprocessing tools in my ARC catalog. I don't need to have that on a map to deal with it. I can run that 2 colors here.